Well, hello again. So, as you know, I do these workout rambles, unedited, and I play the previous and the previous and the previous at the same time for a small section of the beginning of the video. Not the whole video, it's going to be chaos for a second, but I got an idea to experiment with the chaos of the cacophony of Craigs. I'm going to go la 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 every time for a little while and see what happens. But today is the first day of doing that. So I'll be going la 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 over me just talking in chaos in the past. So, uh-oh, the app wants me to update. Okay, I gotta update the app. Okay, hang on a second. I'm gonna update the app. But while, app is updated. Today's workout is a strength circuit pull 2. We're going to be doing a little kettlebell, a little bit of squats, a little bit of push-ups, and some weights, some arm weight stuff. Okay. All right. Here we go. I'm going to play this and start the workout at the same time. Here goes. Hey, here we go. La, 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 okay. Today's workout is kind of and weightlifting. Wow, this is really chaotic. Okay, a little bit. Okay, a little bit. We want to hear me too. Okay. Okay, I have to stop. I didn't stop on that yet, but I have to stop now because I'm going to lose my voice. All right.
Next set.
So that'll be interesting as that progresses. Now we're doing a little smackdown stretch. Oh, I wrote my video today, my next main channel video, while walking on my treadmill desk because I'm doing the 30,000 steps a day. And it was amazing how many steps I got without even realizing it.
Up next is 30
while
seconds
typing.
of single kettlebell swing.
Treadmill desk. I keep saying it, but it's a miracle. Videos about my idiot's guide to cooking, basically.
Start the next set.
And just the really dumbed down version of cooking. The easy way. And right before doing this workout, I went to YouTube to pull this video up, and I came across a Matt D'Avella video. You may know him as a YouTuber who does similar challenges to what I do.
Up next is 30 seconds of single kettlebell goblet squat with 35 pounds.
And who I only discovered because I started doing videos like this. It wasn't like I was watching him and being like, huh, I can do that too. It was just that when I do research, like those kind of videos pop up for me. And his video, he did a video like a year ago, which I was unaware of. That was, he eats the same meal every day, basically, which is like chicken or steak
next is 30 seconds
of a side of vegetable,
arm row with 35 pounds.
Every meal.
Left side.
He's very minimal and consistent like that.
Start the next set.
I like that these are 30-second workouts, so I don't have to count. And that's basically, that's not the point of my video, but that is what I cook when I cook a meal. And could easily, probably,
10 seconds left.
Have that every meal if China didn't want some kind of variety. Basically,
that's time.
Chicken, sweet potato, broccoli.
One arm row with 35 pounds. Right side.
but like extremely simply, just
Start the next
salt, oil, heat. And that's the point of the video is like, if you can just think about, if you can think of cooking in those terms, you're just figuring out a way to heat up the food and make it not taste bad. It's like,
10
if
seconds
that's
left.
the most basic, simple way of cooking. And you don't even need to measure, really. You just
That's time.
put a bunch of oil on
Next is
it,
30 seconds of single kettlebell
put a bunch of
swing with
salt on
35
it.
pounds.
heat it up in the oven, in a pan, and experiment with like how much oil and salt while you're doing it, I guess. But
Start the next set.
if you keep it that simple, you don't need much of a recipe. And that's not to say, I'm not saying that's how you should always cook and only cook. Just that's a good way to get started. If you're someone like me in my 20s who
10 seconds left.
had no idea, like knew nothing about cooking and wouldn't do it because I was intimidated by big recipes and not having any
That's time.
ingredients.
Up next is 30 seconds of single kettlebell goblet squat with 35 pounds.
And when you look up how to cook something, you're always going to find recipes that
Start
are
the next set.
people trying to give you something exceptional, like this super amazing, an easy way to do an amazing dish. And that's not what I'm talking about. I just want an easy way to cook a basic thing
10 seconds left.
that'll fill me up and be relatively healthy. Much healthier than ultra processed
Up next is 30
Fast
seconds
food.
of single kettlebell one arm row
and
with
cheap,
35
much
pounds.
cheaper than
Left side.
a nice restaurant.
Start the next set.
So I wrote up that video up to the part where I start cooking. I have a whole like first half, which is like basically explaining that. But in my main channel, funny, edited way.
10 seconds left.
When I explain these things in my unedited way to you, I'm
That's
like,
time.
well,
Up
why don't I
next is
just do
30
that?
seconds of single kettlebell one arm row. Right side.
Because pacing is important. Entertainment value is important to me.
Start the next set.
Not just the arguments I'm making. I wouldn't even call it an argument. But that's all written now. And I think I'm going to shoot it after this. Ada is home sick from school though, so I'm not going to shoot the kitchen
10
cooking
seconds left.
half. Probably cook that tomorrow. Or shoot that tomorrow. I won't cook the video. I'll cook in the video.
That's time. Up next is 30 seconds of single kettlebell swing with 35 pounds.
Got about 15,000 steps. I got about 15,000 to go. So I got to do that at some point as well.
Start the next
I'm
set.
not going to walk on the treadmill desk while shooting the video because of noise. Just distraction. Feeling tired. I think last week I was feeling tired doing this workout. Kettlebell,
10 seconds.
it doesn't seem like it's doing much until you get tired. Ugh.
That's time. Up next is 30 seconds of single kettlebell goblet squat with 35 pounds.
Okay,
Start the next
let's
set.
do it. So did you see that new Apple iPad ad everyone is talking about on Twitter? It's shocking.
10 seconds left.
Like, I agree with the side that says it's pretty, they missed the mark on what they were trying to say.
That's time. Up next is 30 seconds of single kettlebell one arm row with 35 pounds.
I know what they were trying to say, and it kind of works, but
Start the next set.
it also gives a pretty weird and bad message. It can make make people feel negative things about it. So they got a new iPad coming out, super powerful iPad, and so they have this giant, what would you call it? A press clamp, giant metal.
That's time. Up next is 30
thing.
seconds of single kettlebell, one arm.
Wait,
row
underneath
with
it there is
35
like
pounds. Right
all
side.
sorts of instruments, trumpet, a giant like organ,
Start the next set.
toys, and all basically analog versions of what the iPad can do. Giant pile of it. And then it compresses them and slowly destroys them. Paint spraying everywhere. And then
10 seconds left.
the obvious conclusion is then it comes back up and it's the iPad. Which, obviously they're saying you can do all of that.
If you have feedback on that set, you can add it by tapping on my
Okay,
image with the dumbbell
all right,
icon.
calm down.
That's time.
Uh,
Up next is 15 reps of push-up.
This is the Copilot app, by the way. I use it religiously.
Start
and
the next set.
I love it. They've sponsored me in the past. They're not sponsoring me now. I say this every time. Okay, 15.
Slow down.
Oh, okay. 6.
Much better.
Thank you. Whew. I'm gonna have to do that again. I don't think I'm gonna be able to do all 15. But
Up next is 10 reps of dumbbell reverse fly with 15 pounds in each hand.
the way it's done so slowly, destroying the guitar, destroying all these
Start the next set.
cool instruments, like they didn't have to go so hard. Like I feel like they did. They're like, wouldn't it be cool to just watch stuff? People like watching things be destroyed. Let's destroy these things and do it slowly, and watch how cool it looks while it's being destroyed. And I completely get that. But it like comes across tonally, maybe not to everyone, but I think to a lot of people, as disturbing. Like, screw the real world.
Looking
We're
good.
gonna get rid of your awesome old instruments into this tiny little metal technology box. Making the world more boring is what it comes across as. And then there's like a close-up of a little ball
Up next
with
is
a
10
face
reps
getting
of dumbbell
crushed,
upright row with
eyeballs
15
popping
pounds
out, which adds to the disturbing nature of it.
Start the next set.
And then someone came out with that same commercial. Someone's like, you should have done it like this, and they reversed it. So you see the iPad, and then it closes, and then it opens back up to all the instruments, which is a more positive way to look at it. More like, see, look what this iPad can do. All these, it takes
Up
all
next
of
is
these
15
things
reps of push-up.
in this little box. It can do all of that. And
Start the next
that
set.
does seem better. To me, that seems like a better way to go. But then there's a lot of people making the argument, well, yeah, not everyone can own all of these instruments. It would cost many thousands of dollars, as opposed to like the $1,000 for an iPad. And the commercial, I guess, vibes with them completely. But I think since so many people reacted negatively to it, it doesn't matter what they meant. It doesn't matter that they made their argument properly, Because, well, they didn't. If they didn't convince everybody, and not that you're ever going to convince everybody of anything, but it seems like a massive amount of
Up next is 10 reps of dumbbell reverse fly with 15 pounds.
negativity around this ad. So I think
Start the next set.
you just have to admit this is a bad commercial. They screwed up. On the other hand, I tweeted this exact same thing I'm telling you, but on the other hand, the real test of whether a commercial is a success or not is, does it sell the product? Did they have a surge in pre-orders? Can you even pre-order it? I don't know. Maybe it's hard, you could never really tell. Like if sales of the product are uniquely lower than other iPads, that could be an indication that the commercial failed. If they're uniquely higher, that could be an indication that the controversy around the commercial caused people to just talk about it more. And now more people are aware of the new iPad.
Up next
Commercial
is 10
might
reps
suck,
of
but it doesn't
dumbbell
matter.
right row with 15 pounds in each hand.
I think most people are probably like, that commercial's a little weird.
Start the next
They
set.
kind of screwed that up. Doesn't mean they're going to suddenly not buy an iPad because they decided that they decided previously that they were going to buy. You might not win over a lot of new customers this way. I don't know. But I think it was a bad call. I think it's a bad. I think at some point in the process, someone could have been like, do you think anyone's going to take this badly? It seems kind of obvious to me. No idea how many of those I did.
Up next is 30 seconds of shoulder stretch. Left side. Start the next set.
So on the one hand, it's awesome that the iPad can allow you to do all this stuff. You don't need to go purchase an expensive several instruments.
10 seconds left.
That's pretty cool. But you gotta be sensitive about these things.
That's time. Up next is 30 seconds.
Do you
of shoulder
know? I don't
stretch.
know. What am I talking
Right
about?
side.
I don't work for Apple. I don't work in the ad. I'm not gonna buy the new iPad. I don't really care about iPads.
Start the next set.
I have two of them. One was given to me at VidCon by a company that I did an interview with. They gave me an iPad, which was awesome. And the other I bought
10 seconds left.
because it was the first one was being used pretty often, more often by Ada
That's time.
to watch things
Up
in the
next
car
is 30
and stuff.
seconds of tricep stretch.
And I
Left
wanted
side.
the pencil capability to draw. There were a handful of videos there for a little while where I was doing little drawing graphics.
Start the next set.
So I bought another iPad for that. I think it's an iPad Air. I don't really use it anymore, and totally didn't need to buy it. I think that's the case with iPads for me. I feel like it seems like kind of cool in theory.
10
I
seconds.
never thought when the iPad first came out, I was like, was that a big iPhone? Why do we need this? And I definitely
That's time.
see
Up next is 30
a
seconds
lot of
tricep
practical
stretch.
uses for it now.
Right side.
Especially like, I think my biggest interaction with an iPad
Start the
is
next
like
set.
checking out at a store or a coffee shop or a restaurant that you order at the counter. Which you don't need the iPad for, but it is convenient. Or when I'm running on this
10 seconds
treadmill, I prop the iPad up to watch something while I'm running. It's like a nice portable screen, I guess, if you want to watch something. Which
That's
you can do
time.
with your phone.
Up next is 30 seconds of quad stretch.
Not quite big enough necessarily for running on the treadmill, but it's fine. You don't need the iPad for it. I guess the other really practical use for it, for most people,
Start the next set.
is basically like a cheaper laptop. Get a keyboard attachment, and you have yourself a little cheap laptop, which you can also do without. There's other tablets besides iPad that are cheaper that you could do it with. But
10 seconds left.
I can't do that because I have to edit video. You can edit video with an iPad, I think, but it's not the way I edit. So
That's time. Up next is 30 seconds of quad stretch. Right side.
I need the laptop for that.
Start the next set.
So I don't really care about the iPad, but I am interested in this whole fiasco with this commercial. And how you can get it so wrong, even though it seems so like such a good idea. Because I could see them thinking like, this is gonna be awesome. We're gonna see it's gonna start with paint that's gonna spray everywhere. It's gonna be full of color, and then we'll crush it and it'll be an iPad. And on paper, that might seem
That's time.
like it makes more sense in the final. And they maybe could have done it in a better way to make it not so weird tonally. But it's like the way it was done is slow.
Start the next
Like you really feel the crushing of all of the instruments. And it seems more sinister than I think it needed to. Could have done it faster. Happier music. Maybe not the face-popping eyeball thing.
10 seconds left.
Or do it in reverse. That could have been cool.
That's time. Nice job. Press submit to finish.
Anyway, Apple, if you want me to work on commercials for you,
Enjoy the rest
I'm
of
sure
your
you're not getting enough people with opinions about this, so you can contact me. I'm one of the few who have opinions, and I'm really, really smart. Okay, that'll do. Again, Jackbox Games, May 26th. I want there to be a bunch of people, because then it's more fun with more people. So, noon Central, May 26th, Jackbox Games on Patreon. If you support on Patreon, I'll do that. I'm going to do that monthly. That short I did derived from the first little silly WheezyNews video on Monday. The short about the St. Luke's Hospital for Lunatics. It kind of popped a little overnight. First it was getting like 300 views, and then overnight now it has like 10,000 views almost, which is interesting. It took a while, and then suddenly people are like, okay, and like weird, strange negative political comments, which means it's people that don't know that it's reaching out to strangers, which is great. To get the not so great comments sometimes. Okay, that'll do. Let's do a thumbnail as we do. This one's about the Apple ad mostly, so let's what could the thumbnail be like? Maybe I could put image of the ad right here. Maybe that TV is too distracting for that if I'm going to put an image there. So let's lower it. Okay. Yeah. Like this. Yeah. Yeah. Is that a good face? Probably. I mean, come on. Is that a good face? Come on. All right, guys. Thank you for sticking around for this weird thing I do here on this channel. I want to do more of those silly videos, but I'm working on the main channel video now, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to them. But this I was going to do anyways, so video. All right. See you next time.